Alright guys, so I finally got my Moon Knight in from my pre-order. Ordered him on Amazon. I can't even remember how many months ago it was at this point. Basically, as soon as he was available, I ordered this one. I ordered the Mr. Knight. I ordered the Hawkeye and the Kate Bishop. I've got the Hawkeye and the Kate Bishop in. Got this one in. Don't have Mr. Knight yet. Hopefully we'll be getting that one soon, but finally got him in. I was very excited to get this because I actually really liked the series. I know some people did, some people didn't. Cool, whatever, your opinion. Hey, you know, enjoy what you can, and if you don't, who cares? But I really liked the series, thought it was good, and I like Moon Knight as a character. I've been reading Moon Knight since I was a kid. Always thought he was a very cool character, so got him in, and I'm very happy. And I gotta say, just so far in package, like, he looks way better than the promotional photos that I had seen, and I already wanted him, and I'm really digging on the details I'm seeing here. But obviously we'll take a good close look at that. So now at this point, I've pretty much got all the wave except for She-Hulk. It's really the only one I don't have yet. But anyway, all right, let's go ahead, crack this guy open, and see what we think. All right, so we got him out of the package. Let's look at accessories real quick first. Not a lot to speak of. We do get a couple of fisted hands here, and then, of course, we get a couple of his boomerangs, or whatever these things are. The little crescent moon things. And so we get those, and these actually do have a little clip on them, where they do actually clip together into one, if you want to have it like that, or it breaks off into two. Now, let's look at the figure itself, and getting this guy in hand, I gotta say, it's, like I said from looking in the package, I mean, he's way cooler than I realized from the photos. I mean, all new sculpt looks amazing. The details on him, just the way the wraps are and everything, just all the texture and everything you've got on here. The writing there on his legs looks great. Everything looks good. The little skirt piece thing, you know, you've got it how it comes down at the back there. You've got the wraps on the legs. Now, of course, I think all these wraps would look a little cooler if you had a wash on there. Maybe just a light wash, but either way, it looks really good. You know, you've got the detailing there on the boots, around the sides and the back of the boots. The gauntlets there with the little crescent moon on it. The emblem on the chest looks great. The face looks really good. Everything looks great. Cape looks good. I'm not the biggest fan of like these stylized capes that are pre-posed, but this one isn't bad. It's not horrible. Certainly seen worse than this. I usually just prefer just kind of a straight cape, but you know, we've got this going on. So all in all, the figure looks really, really cool. I already messed around with the articulation, and it's got basic standard Marvel Legends articulation, which is all great. You know, the double jointed knees and elbows and wrists and ankles and, you know, hips that come out and all that kind of stuff. He's got this head on the ball joint and everything, so he can kind of tilt a little bit and twist and all that stuff. All basic stuff. The one thing that I would say I'm not the biggest fan of on this figure is very much like the first Infinity War Captain America. The bicep cuts are not good. And they've got this bicep cut, which is just kind of this angled thing. So instead of having the shoulder joint kind of sink down into the bicep cut a little bit, so that when you turn it, it kind of covers up, it does this instead. And I'm not a fan when they do that. Look at that. That's just ugly. So you'll want to kind of keep his arms in this position so you can't see it. So that's really the only thing I see on this figure that kind of, you know, is disappointing. But other than that, the rest of the figure looks fantastic. So it really is just kind of a limitation on posing if you don't want to break up the sculpt of that arm by twisting him out like that. That's really up to you. But when he's posed like this, he looks fantastic. I mean, it's a great looking figure, done very, very well. Again, articulation's on point with modern Marvel Legends. I do like the diaphragm joint there as far as how it works with the sculpt, although it doesn't really do anything. Like, other than giving him some twist, there is really no forward or back really with this thing at all. So that is a downside on the articulation for that piece, but The figure looks really good. I mean, as far as an aesthetic look, I'm really, really pleased with this. And seeing as how I'm not going to have him posed in some dynamic position on the shelf, it works for me. Might not for you. You may want Moon Knight in some crazy position and you're going to have those there and you really want him curled over more and he can't do it, and you might be disappointed in this. As far as how I'm going to display him, I think it looks pretty good. I really, really dig it. I think they did a really good job on the sculpt on this guy. So let's go ahead, throw him up with some other figures, and see how he stacks up. So first up to compare to some other Marvel Legends. Of course, we've got 90s armored up Daredevil there on the left. Love that figure. And then on the right, the only other Marvel Legends Moon Knight that I have, this is the kind of modern take on Moon Knight where he's got the armor and stuff like that. I don't have any of the other versions. I do have a Marvel Select Moon Knight, but as far as Marvel Legends go, this is the only other one. And honestly, this new one, short of the issue I have with the sculpt on the biceps, I think is a much nicer looking figure. I mean, just the detail alone that went into this thing. Granted, I know this is, you know, live action versus comic book, but right now I'm really digging on this Moon Knight as the better of these figures. Alright, so we got to compare him to some other Vigilante and Midnight Suns characters. So of course on the left we've got Blade and on the right we've got Punisher. This is an older Punisher but still a good one, and I love the way Moon Knight looks here. Alright, so this is live action Moon Knight, MCU Moon Knight, so we got to compare him to some other live action characters. So on the left, of course, we got Netflix Daredevil. On the right, we got Disney Plus Hawkeye from the same wave as Moon Knight. Absolutely looks great here. And of course, because I had to try it, we of course got a Oscar Isaac head that I pulled from a Star Wars Black Series Poe Dameron and tried it on here, and I think it looks great. I did have to tweak this head just a little bit. I used a little bit of nail polish remover actually to kind of remove the stubble that Poe Dameron had all over his face. It just made him look like he ate too much chocolate. But once I did that, I think the head sculpt came out looking really good, and I think it looks great on this figure. And in fact, I might end up actually displaying it this way. But either way, man, I'm really happy with how this turned out. Alright, let's talk price here, and this guy sells for $25, which is the new entry-level price for Marvel Legends. Is he worth it? Quick answer, yeah. It's definitely worth it. This is a great figure. I mean, it really is. Short of my issue with the bicep cuts, which just kind of break up the sculpt when you pose him in certain positions, I at least understand why they did that because of the sculpt and the design that they went with. It makes more sense because it does have the shoulder pads and all that kind of stuff and keeping the wraps there, and there's a lot to it. I understand why they did it, even if I'm not a big fan of it. But other than that, I mean, this figure's great. I mean, the detail on it is superb, really well done. Even the cape, which I'm not a fan of stylized capes, is well done for being a stylized cape. The sculpt is fantastic. The paint is on point. I love the little details with the Egyptian writing and everything. This is done really, really well. It's a really good figure. So yeah, definitely, it's certainly worth $25. So I'm really happy that I got this guy. I actually like him way better than I thought I would, and I already thought I was gonna like this figure, and I have been pleasantly surprised with how much I actually like this guy. It's a great figure, man. I mean, it's gonna look great on my MCU shelf. It would even look good just on your regular comic shelf because it's a great representation of Moon Knight, period, not just for live action. So hands down, well done to Marvel Legends team on this one. They did a great job. I am no fan of a lot of the shenanigans Hasbro's been pulling lately. I don't like the price hikes. There's a lot of stuff that I've had issue with, but I really can't complain about this figure. It's really well done. So there you go, guys. That's it. That's my opinion. As always, thanks for watching. Always remember to enjoy your collection, and we will talk to you guys later.